Stop the war!
Be right back.
This is an unjust and immoral war! This is a war for oil and a war for money!
San Francisco police has just arrested a marching band. The Brass Liberation Orchestra has been arrested for playing peacefully on the sidewalk. This is an unlawful arrest of a very lawful assembly. It is an illegal act.
It's not a big performance-oriented thing. It's about, the sort of spirit of the whole thing, going out there and us having a good time and sharing that and bringing everybody into it.
So when we go out on the streets and we play music, we're creating this space for ourselves and for the people directly around us that is a small fragment of the example of a world, of a different world that we want to live in. We want to live in a world where the streets are ours.
You guys look beautiful! I love you!
Ready? Count it.
1, 2, 4.
All of a sudden I hear this wave of sound coming, and it's just this sound marching up the street, and I say, okay, to the people I am with, I tell them, I will see you much later because these are my people.
There are moments of resistance when you realize that things are possible. Just one drum adds so much energy, So a drum, two trombones, and a saxophone and a trumpet. Yeah, and I think that there are times when we actually sound pretty good. People love it, and that's good to be a part of that.
I just jumped in and started jamming with them, and they loved that. And I said, "Hey, who are you guys? And can I play with you some more?"
People who join the band definitely have a sense of humor. That's, I think, a big, big qualifier. We started having practice about once a week. First we practiced in our house here in the living room. We practiced in another friend's living room. And then a really excellent thing that happened was that we connected with a group called Art and Revolution. They have a space, like a workshop space, that they opened up to us. They do mostly visual stuff. They do big puppets and big signs and things like that. And they were really excited to have a group that was interested in doing musical expression.
So we do the bass line through except for the fourth set, right? So they're gonna go ba, ba, ba 4 times. And you guys keep doing the bass line except for the last time you go
On the fourth one.
ba. Yeah, we all do that together.
Okay.
And you should do this as well.
Kind of a
It's
Batman
ba.
vibe. Well, when we hit ba, the
I think the
trumpets
thing
go
that
high.
immediately made me fall in love with the BLO was the skill level in the band was drastically lower than that of pretty much any other band I've ever played in, at least in recent memory, and I really didn't care. And so there was sort of this feeling in me of, okay, there must be something to this that I haven't found in other musical groups.
Well, when the trumpets go high, that's our last time is when we say.
Yeah, but then you can know before we get
For me, for the rest, how many times you want me to do it?
So they're gonna have to
To me, I think the open band idea and concept is really important. I think it's great. And I don't mind that we have some people in the band who aren't real great musicians on their instrument, because it's a lot of what we do is about being inclusive.
Bum, ba, bum, ba. And you can stack different pentatonic scales on top of that. So, you know, you can do dun, 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 dun. That's what Coltrane's doing. Dun, 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 dun.
For myself, who's less music theory informed, does that mean that I can do those same notes in a lower octave?
Yeah, the low, yeah, you're doing low.
Is that also what you mean by stacking?
Yeah.
This group is more, politics drives it more than the music drives it. It is a little bit of an undercurrent of some of the debate goes on in our band about that too. Because they said, well, you know, some people say, well, you're taking it too seriously. No, I do take it seriously.
We're not taking ourselves seriously at all.
So our goal, we're trying not to get arrested today. If people feel like they want to step up and risk arrest, please talk to the rest of the group before you do that. Don't just jump out.
We feel like we're supporting people who are taking kind of direct action that's more risky perhaps than ours. We're keeping the spirits up and demonstrating that we support people who are locking themselves down in front of the building or blocking traffic or, you know, confronting the police face to face.
I think music is a very good way to deliver messages in a very direct way, beyond the intellect, just heart to heart. I think the message that we deliver when BLO goes to a protest is that we care about what's going on, we care about the people around us and trying to create a better society.
This is a central and incredibly powerful way that people can express emotions, that people can process emotions, and that people can come together and heal and find a reason to keep living. Because the truth of the matter is things happen in this world. Human beings do things to each other that are unimaginable and horrific. And if we get stuck in only thinking about that, we'd all go into a ball in a ditch and, you know, not go on.
It seems like sometimes we come into a situation and it sort of takes the fear away, which is sort of the main, you know, force that, I mean, they've got billy clubs and everything, but the main thing that the state and the police and everything have is this fear. When there's music and people being joyful and dancing, it just really changes that whole scene to this much more life-affirming kind of, yeah, you know, okay, we might get hurt, but, you know, it's not that really a big a deal. It's only that it's the scariness that's really harmful.
I've lost a lot of respect for the police, and I've really changed my attitudes towards why they're here. I kind of feel like the police are, a vast majority of their resources go towards maintaining social control because the system that we live in is inherently unfair.
The police's job is to maintain the existing social order, and we're specifically trying to change it. So we're going to be in conflict with them.
You're the Brass Liberation Orchestra, right? You guys are good. I saw police surrounding Were you guys in the group when the police surrounded you guys?
Why didn't you butt in, baby?
Yeah. I couldn't believe that. They wouldn't let me. I'm like, you got... Anyway.
I saw her.
Yeah, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, I shouldn't say that. But anyway, could any of you talk to me about what happened? Because it was bizarre to watch police surrounding a group of people that were playing music. But were you breaking the law when that happened?
No. Who's our media spokesman? We need a media spokesman here.
For the Breast Liberation Orchestra.
Ellie,
if you
you
don't want
too.
to talk to me, that's totally
No,
fine.
we'll figure something out.
Just tell me what happened that day. I will, in any way you want to tell me. You guys were playing music. You were in front, across the street from Bechtel.
We got arrested the day after the United States started bombing in Iraq.
We were at the Bechtel building. People were blockading it. We were supporting them. The police told us to move off of the street. We moved off of the street. They told us to get on the sidewalk. We got on the sidewalk. They told us to leave. We started to leave, and they surrounded us.
Being arrested with the band was something that now, looking back on it, seems almost humorous, but at the time, you should have seen me. I had tears streaming down my face for about 20 minutes. We're living in a time of repression. We're living in a police state. We're living in a time where the government does not want to screw around.
It was really sort of this vibe of the police saying, no protesting today. Today protesting is illegal. Which is pretty intense if you stop and think about it, you know, that that our government, you know, is just going to come out and make that kind of statement, you know, today protesting is illegal.
If you guys had one message that you would put in print, what would it be?
The way that the BLO works is that we don't make official statements for the band. So if somebody wants to talk, so this statement, whoever answered the question said, Jeff from...
It's like a 12-step program, kind of.
Rat.
I think that we're all, I mean, we definitely would all be like the, you know, the far left, or, I mean, I wouldn't use the word extreme, it sounds so unreasonable.
If I could have my fantasy of change come true, I'd say, yeah, revolution.
I don't see that happening. I think we got to be more realistic and pragmatic and say, no, we can make changes. We've done it in the past, but it's got to proceed, you know, bit by bit.
Forget the government. What can we do on the ground? You know, how can we organize things in our local community? How can we set up economic models that make sense, that meet our basic needs, that are respectful to everyone here, and that are distributed more equitably among the people?
I'll just write down that nobody wanted their names used.
It's not.
Okay. We are saying we represent ourselves only, and we want a world in which everyone is able to speak for themselves.
There's no reason for 40,000 people to starve to death every day. It's ridiculous. There's plenty of food. There's always been plenty of food.
If the news was reported the same way that the sports and the weather are reported, then people would be a lot better informed. When they report the weather, they tell you what the temperature is now, what the temperature is yesterday, whether that's normal for this time of year, what it's going to be like tomorrow. When they give you the news, they're like, we're going to war against this evil guy. Well, okay, how did he get in this position? Where did he get all these weapons from? Why, you know, 5 years ago we were giving this guy money. None of that is in the news.
I think American culture undermines people's sense of self-esteem and the idea that they could have any power. I mean, through commercial messages which are always telling women and men that they don't look good enough, or that they need to buy more stuff in order to feel good about themselves, in order to be acceptable.
Okay, so they all have their own motivations. I think that pretty much sums it up.
Well, no, you know, you should probably just not write the article or just like mention us. Yeah, because you know we're a cranky bunch of like just scraggly musicians. Are you gonna write cranky?
Cranky bunch of scraggly musicians.
And one of the things about being committed to working as a group and as a unit is that we're making a commitment that we're going to work through it. which means if someone gets pissed off and someone gets offended and someone feels like they haven't been heard, instead of just leaving, that we really are making a commitment that we're going to struggle with each other and we're going to try to talk through it, and we're going to see, is there something that we can do, set up some mechanism or some check to lessen the likelihood that that's going to happen in the future.
The elements of like consensus-based decision making is that someone puts forward a proposal for consensus and it gets debated in a pretty general way.
All right, other proposals maybe? How about just green?
I like green.
No. All right.
Because if they're all clashing, then what are you going to do?
Red.
Trees are all different colors.
What about red? Red. Have people in red. Red?
I don't look good in red.
Okay.
But eventually, at the end of the debate, someone frames the proposal again, and then any one individual has the opportunity to block that consensus.
Yeah, so objections.
I don't know. I don't want to block anything, so I'm just not.
When people even bother to think about democracy, they usually think about, well, if the majority thinks something, then that's what's got to happen, and like that's the most intricate way they can even imagine it. Like either someone's totally in charge and we have no say, or if we have any say at all, it's just the majority. And I think that there's much, people who think about decision making and think about like choice, think about respect and things like that, think about interaction with people that's meaningful, realize that there's other ways to interact with people that you can actually, and it is actually possible to take into account what different people want.
Can I ask a question? Is it that you don't want to wear all the same color, or you just don't like red?
I like red. I mean, to wear. It doesn't look good.
Imagine all of us wearing red.
To wear. I don't like red on that.
I've seen it before with groups. It's pretty. It's nice. Red's nice. Do you have other proposals? Other colors?
No,
blue?
I'm agnostic on this. I had my own frustrations with consensus process because it assumes that everybody in an organization has an equal voice and they're equal footing, and that's just not true.
A lot of our best work happens at this table in the kitchen, just sitting around and getting to know each other and just talking. And those personal relationships really help a lot in terms of decision making, because you already have a certain level of trust and understanding of each other in the group.
I think it helps that we're making music together, because we have to listen to each other to find the beat, to find the right time to come in, to know the name of the song we're about to play. So we're already ready to look at each other and to listen.
Allie, what exactly is the focus today anyway?
Outreach.
Outreach?
It's a massive, non-violent, direct outreach.
I think we can start playing.
We start playing?
Yeah.
It's raining.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Everybody has a right to their opinions, and I totally agree. I don't agree with all that. But I have a right to get to work. I have a right to get my food. I have a right to live my life too, my job that I do. And that's not fair to me, because I need to make a living too. To support. I don't
trying to do is just play out on the streets and talk to people, because I understand
people can't talk to you if you're playing an instrument.
Well, that's why they're standing there. We're trying to play music just to ease tension, keep people moving.
There's nothing wrong with playing music as long as it doesn't interfere with the lives of people.
Well, you know what? Everybody's lives are interfered with right now. Yeah,
we have working people.
But you know what? I'm a teacher.
I don't give a fuck about the war. I honestly Seriously, don't.
Well, that's exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, that's
exactly
what we're doing.
This is not you.
Everybody has an
opinion. Now you're mad at us, at least you're thinking about it.
No, I'm not mad at you guys.
No, that's not it. I'm not mad.
Somewhere else.
Depression and frustration and feelings of impotence and being totally overwhelmed are like huge symptoms of everyone in the movement all over the world. And I mean, the main way of combating that is stick together.
I think there's people all over the world that want to change things, and I think if the world survives, we can't be held back indefinitely. Well, then you think about all the guns and bombs and devices, but I think the human spirit is stronger than all those death machines.